Every sidewalk poured, every school built, every neighborhood rising. It starts with the people who lay the foundation and the decisions that shape where the money flows and who it reaches. This mayoral race isn't just political, it's personal. For every corner of Birmingham, the stakes are high. BCNP presents Concrete Conversations. Real talk, real plans for a city ready to rise.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jared Sims, and I'm your host tonight for BCNP, the Black Contractor News Podcast. And this week, we're going to be talking to all of the mayoral candidates that want to come on and share their vision with us as to what they plan to do in the city. We know all of the issues that are abound, but we want to hear, what are the solutions? What are we actually going to do to make our communities better, help better develop our communities, and again, bring a vibrancy back to the city. Get the energy up. Right now, there's a lot of apathy and people are not engaged. So what we want to do is find out how these candidates plan on doing that, how they plan on literally engaging the community, getting rid of the apathy, and just getting people more involved. So tonight, joining us is Mr. Kamal Africa. Has been here in the city doing work for many, many years. And so he's first up tonight. And so we want to hear what Kamal has to say about his vision for the city, what he plans on doing to make the city better in 4 years. What are we going to be saying in 4 years about him? Those are the kinds of things we want to know. We want to get to the basics of what he's going to do, but we need to get a little bit more in depth. Kamal, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sure, no problem. At the end of the day, man, I've known you for a long time. I've known you to be a worker. I've known you to get involved in the community and get things done. If people know you, that's what they know you for. They know you for working on some monumental campaigns here in the city.
Yes.
Dating back, I would think, with the Arrington era.
Absolutely.
So you've been in this before. But before we get into that, tell us, for the folks that don't know Kamal, tell us who Kamal is. I mean, who is Kamal?
Sure. I was born in Dynamite Hill. My name was Marlon, so on the ballot, I'll be the first one on the ballot. It's going to say Kamal Marlon Africa. And I changed my name because I identified with my roots after I did my DNA, study, and found out where my roots went to. They went to the biblical Yemen. And I grew up on what is called Dynamite Hill, which is Smithfield, a historic area, middle class mostly. But I could identify with both the working and middle class. My mother was a librarian, my father was a steel worker at a SIPCO. And they were very much involved in that era during the bombings. That's why it's called Dynamite Hill.
Okay.
And as a child, I witnessed my father sit in the window to protect our home after he came back from fighting in World War II and was denied the VA benefits.
Really?
Yeah, and he worked at a SIPCO. He was the first to file for equal pay for blacks. So it's in my blood, it's in my DNA. My brother was the first to go through UAB 7 years before they were court ordered to desegregate. So they figured they'd get their token, and they got my brother, not for any thing in terms of affirmative action, but he had excellent grades in chemistry, biology, etc.
Okay.
My sister would have been the fifth little girl at the church that where the girls were bombed at 16th Street Baptist Church, had we not changed from Baptist, because we were at East Thomas Baptist Church where I got baptized. But we changed to Lutheran, and so she would typically go to the 16th Street Baptist Church when we were Baptist with Dr. J.L. Lowe, my mother's first cousin. And she didn't go that day because we had changed to Lutheran. We had an anniversary. So it is in my body, in my DNA, to fight for people who have been downtrodden and hurt we don't have community in Birmingham.
Okay.
We had community when I was a child. I grew up, we were all-American family, Girl Scout, Boy Scout, Brownie Scout, Cub Scout, Wilkerson. We had the teams, Park. I left Park in the 9th grade because I got a scholarship like my brother did to an academy. And the community, it was really a community that I grew up. Today, Jared, we don't have community. We got two separate communities. One is affluent, mostly white, developed in the past and developing. And then we got the black community, which is stagnant. It's been really messed up bad. It's been socially engineered into what I see as degeneracy. We don't have the dignity and community pride as we had when I was growing up.
Okay.
That's the community that I grew up in. It had pride. My family, my mother and father were married for 62 years. I grew up in a very stable environment.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. There is a lot of work to do. I would tend to agree that the energy is not necessarily there right now in the community. So Kamal, tell me what we're getting wrong. Tell me what the community is getting wrong. Tell me what the city of Birmingham and the elected officials and the leaders that we have in place, what are we getting wrong? Tell us, where did we go wrong on this stuff?
First of all, Jared, during my time, we had community. We had self-love, we had protection. I look at the era of my father. Even up to the time that I was in my 20s and 30s, we had self-love. We had dignity, pride, self-respect, community respect, respect for the elders. All that seems to be gone. We become too robotized, I can use that word, I guess. And in terms of development and growth, we had businesses in the community. We had black businesses downtown. We had certain districts where we had black businesses. 4th Avenue was one of them. I witnessed people like James Payne, B. Frank Davis. These were millionaires that lived in my community. The Bailey brothers. We don't have it anymore. Pool, the funeral home.
These people lived in Birmingham?
They lived in Smithfield. Yeah, wow. These people lived in Smithfield.
They were considered at that time the more affluent people.
Exactly, yeah. You had
business owners.
Yes, you had Drew, who had the insurance that insured the civil rights workers with T.L. Alexander out of Atlanta, and he got the first contract with Coca-Cola. Drew lived around the corner from me. Davis lived 2 doors from me. That was Angela Davis's father. He was all these guys were millionaires. And everybody took care of one another. You had the educated, the lesser educated, the steel workers, everybody respected one another. They bartered, they worked together, they protected that community. The children could play in the street. You didn't have to worry about the insanity that's going on now with pedophilia, kidnapping, shootings. And in terms of your question about, and we had development and growth. Gaylord, one that you are familiar with. Gaylord's house is right across the street from Drew, and that's around the corner from me on Center Street.
Okay.
Gaylord built most of the big black churches in this city. That 3-story brick house next to me, that Gaylord built that. I watched it as a child. The expressway was not even there. It was all houses, all filled in, but of course, these wicked people used the National Highway Act as they did in every other city where you had a middle-class black community, and they drove a highway right through, built an interstate right through those communities. As it pertains to city services,
what are we getting wrong with the city?
Well, I mean, right now, as a result of the bleeding out, I call it bleeding out, you've had over 64 street and sanitation people to leave the city and go to the county because of better pay, better conditions, more respect from the leadership in the past than we have, I guess, in the past few years. And they're leaving. There's a bleeding of police, retiring, going to other places if they can. They're not happy. And city services have been cut as a direct result of not enough personnel to get it done. That's why it's been cut down to what it's been cut down to. And I expect it to get worse, particularly under a couple of people that might, if they get in, I'm hoping not, I think it'll get much more drastic. The city seems to be all developing on downtown and south side. The Opportunity Zone, for instance, that was denied Inslee, denied 5 Points West, denied Pratt, denied Wylam. They have business districts also, but they were intentionally left out by Josh David Carpenter, who was hired by Mayor Randall Woodfin. Actually, Carpenter volunteered, and Mayor Woodfin didn't smell the rat then. But when it was probably too late, he gone down that rabbit hole.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the economic factors. Mm-hmm. Are we getting that right in the city? Because I would think that would be a top priority. For me, cutting grass, as you said, keeping
basic
services, those are givens. Those are things that we should expect.
Exactly.
Simply because the tax burden that we carry. Mm-hmm. But there's another component to that I think that needs to be considered, and that is as it relates to the economic prosperity that our tax dollars help generate. I think we should be a part of that,
right.
And that is what we do, or that is our focus. Yeah. That is what we're basically designed or created to do, and that is to advocate for inclusion and equity. We don't want anything special. We want equity. We want to be, we want reciprocity. We want an investment or a return, if you would, on our investment once we put those monies in the coffers. So are we getting that right? Because some people would ask, what am I even talking about as relates to this? Maybe we're getting this right and I don't know this.
No, we don't have anybody fighting for us. Jared, let me give you two examples. The BJCC, for instance.
I'm familiar with it.
Again, you got a $2.2 billion industry that this gentleman owns that has control of that. Ticketmaster, Live Nation. By the way, they are under Sherman antitrust review. That's right, they are. A $2.2 billion company. A monopoly, in other words. They intentionally left black contractors out, you guys. You're talking about less than 1%, then when you went to court, then they only increased it to 1.3%. They gave really nominal contracts. Mm-hmm. I think it was a sprinkler system, the glass, and I think maybe polishing the concrete or something like that. I think that's pretty much accurate. But we're talking about a city that has a budget of $550 million, almost $500 million, and they're giving this guy, how much was it? It was 46. Was it 46?
46 million was the bid amount that won.
Right. And
the point of it is, though, the city contributed 10 million and the county contributed 12 million.
Right.
So that tax base, or the tax base here in Jefferson County and the city of Birmingham, contributed $22 million to that $46 million project.
Right.
Our issue, and it should have been an issue for everybody, but apparently it's just an issue for, I don't know, maybe people in the industry, if that's the case. I would want, our elected officials, the people that are elected to represent us as well, would see that that's not equity.
Right. To at least speak up.
You can't develop a community, you can't develop a city. There is no growth if in fact only one segment of the pie is fed.
And that is as evil as hanging people or torturing them or directly discriminating. It is direct discrimination. The BJCC intentionally left you guys out. They excluded you. It was absolute intent. It was no mistake, as what's the guy's name that said that. They did that And that is as evil can get, Jared.
Well, let me say this. I would tend to agree that there was not a real effort to ensure that there was more equity, there was more opportunity,
Right.
And certainly that there was more inclusion.
Right.
You know, I would liken it to this. If a boat is sinking, if it's sinking and you can only get a thimble full of water out at a time, the odds of you saving that boat are not good.
Right. You're gonna still sink.
You're going to still sink. So
Fast.
if you have the consideration of 30% as your perceived goal, we'd like to say target.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If you have 30% as your target,
Right.
you really need to reach the 30,
Right.
but I would think you'd want to exceed that.
Right.
If we're talking about being equitable, if we're talking about being
Yes.
fair.
Right.
And I'm saying that to say this, because there's so many people in the pool now.
Right.
See, when you were talking about Mayor Van and those considerations, of course, we had just come out of the issues of
Desegregation.
not getting the
And affirmative action.
and the affirmative action. So those are the areas in which you were talking about when they were trying to affirm or correct a wrong.
That's correct.
So the only people that were in that,
Black and white.
that was it.
That was it.
There were no other considerations.
Exactly.
Well, today, the considerations as to a protected class is bigger,
Yeah.
which means that those resources have to be enlarged or increased if everybody within the confines of that perceived protected class is to do okay.
Well, I don't. Number one, I don't.
But I want to add this. I would think that the people that put the most in
Thank you. That's what
the
I'm
coffers
Yeah.
as to helping to generate this prosperity,
Right.
they should receive an equitable,
Right.
fair share of
Right.
their investment.
That's
And it shouldn't be the other way, but maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. I could very well be looking at this the wrong way.
I agree, absolutely.
You know.
Because you've got others that have come here, and I don't have a problem with people coming to this country to reap the benefits, but they've not paid dues like the African Americans have. We built
Foundational
the country- Foundational Black America. We built this country. We paid in blood, sweat, and tears and anguish, and we are not reaping the benefits that we should that we should share in. Again, I talked about my father coming home never receiving the GI benefits, but thank goodness the SIP code had the the commissary. They had the medical and dental. And you know something else? Look at the situation, and we don't have anybody that spoke up about it. I don't recall anybody on city council, with the exception of two people. I think Abbott did, and O'Quinn said a little something.
Yeah, that was disappointing to me actually too. That we had no elected official
Nobody.
feel or believe, if you would, that there was an injustice, an economic injustice. Nobody mentioned that. I mean, unless we have the numbers wrong, which I don't believe we do, unless we have the numbers wrong, the question is, how is that acceptable for a community that has, we've actually put into the coffers to help generate the prosperity?
Well, Jared, we put people in office that never had to sign the front of the check. We put people in office that got a check, and they have never been business people, not many of them, and so they don't understand that. We're talking about dollars and cents and OJT. They never signed the front of the check. So they don't have any sympathy for us. You understand? We have to fight. You got to have a fighter in City Hall that will critically, analytically look at everything. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I would think that if I were elected official, or if I was even as a community member.
Well, they call people like us radical.
Yeah.
Jared,
So that means that means
that's what woke means.
Dr. King.
That's what woke means.
So that
we're
means
radical.
So that means Dr. King, Rosa
because
Parks.
we want equity. We're woke. We're radical because we want equity. We want fairness.
So
we want a piece of the pie. We're woke.
Let me ask you. So does that mean that Dr. King, Rosa Parks, Fred Shuttlesworth, were they considered radical?
Absolutely. Well, they think they were radical because we can think. Can you imagine that? Because we can think.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when you get right down to it, I mean, I'm not sure if people are not aware of the issues, which sometimes makes me question whether or not we're doing what we need to do as an organization to ensure that people get, information and get a better understanding of the things that I would think would be an issue. And that would be, there is no development. See, this thing is actually bigger than me getting a contract.
Right.
It's much bigger than that.
Of course it is.
What we've got to do is we've got to inspire, we've got to motivate, we've got to train the next generation of builders.
That's right.
Which means they need to see something.
Right.
See, most people that I know growing up as boys, and I'm sure as girls, but I know as boys, we were always something else other than what we were.
Right. And we were dreamers.
You were O.J. Simpson.
Right.
You were Dr. J.
Right.
You were things that you saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people would play doctor.
Right.
You were things that you saw.
Right.
So what I'm telling you that I think we should consider is to let our community see, representation when it comes to administrators would be primes or general contractors.
Right.
Then you need the subcontractor base. We've got to build the trades.
Right.
As far as the labor pool is concerned, this is a great opportunity for our community. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, our community, we're not impacting the labor pool right now. But I think what we can do if we address the issue of getting back into our communities and making those kind of opportunities more available and more attractive to our young men and women, I think we're going to do better. I heard Pastor Jamal said that, hey, listen, we've got to start investing more in the trades. We've got to build the trades in our communities. He said what we need to start doing is giving scholarships to HVAC installers. We need to start giving scholarships to people that want to be electricians.
Right.
He said everybody's not going to college. So therefore, what this will do is give us an opportunity to build tradesmen in our community. I was really encouraged by that. I mean, I really was. That tells me that if we get that kind of thinking, we won't affect the labor pool or the trade world significantly, but we will be able to do better than we're doing now. Right now, we don't have the numbers that we should.
Right.
We've been tricked to believe that being an electrician or a plumber or whatever is related to construction is not hip or it's not cool.
Right.
And if you're good in this industry, you can do very well.
That's right. You can.
I know we're going into the age of AI. I get it.
That's right.
It's going to be able to do some things, mainly issues or positions or jobs that have to do with individuals that are either counting or accounting, that kind of thing. But when it comes to fixing a leak,
Right.
when it comes to putting a roof on a house,
Right.
when it comes to installing an HVAC unit,
Right.
that's not going to be done with AI.
Right.
That's going to be done with an individual.
That's right.
Would you agree that that's an issue, or is Pastor Brian kind of off on something?
No. In the old days, you had the talented 10th, the W.E.B. Du Bois talented 10th, but you also had Booker T. Washington and that labor pool. Because what is it that makes us think that we don't have basic needs that can be met by people right in our community? And we've gotten away from that. And we call somebody doesn't look like us. And we've got to get back to that if we're going to survive. It's that simple.
So, Kamal, when you were growing up, did you see tradesmen in your community? I mean, what were some of the people that lived in your community like? I think you shared that you lived near Mr. Shores and those types. Who else was in the community?
You had a number of contractors and business people, the foundation of any sane community. And we've gotten away from that, and we don't have really leadership that's speaking up for us. We had electricians, we had carpenters, we had brick masons. Gaylord lived around the corner from me. The Bailey brothers lived across the street on the opposite corner.
And these were all black contractors?
Every one of them.
Okay.
James Payne owned numerous filling stations, 4th Avenue Shell, the Shell on Arkadelphia, 16th Street, Chevron. He was a multimillionaire. He had Sugar Hill Sundries right down the street. You had Getty that owned the Chevron on Arkadelphia. I mean, I could go on and on. But Gaylord by far was probably the biggest, and next to him would have been the Marable brothers and the Baileys.
And all these are general contractors in our community?
Exactly.
Okay.
And they all worked with regular people. The community was safe. It was clean. These were people of their word and integrity. And every aspect of whatever had to be done, black men could build it. Black women stood by their men. That's the community that I grew up in, Jared.
Okay. Well, and again, what I'd like to see is what Dr. or Pastor Jamal Bryant said. I'd like to see, churches adopt that perspective where they encourage the community, they encourage our men and women to consider these things. They got to know that you think that it's cool, to do it. At the end of the day, like I said, we've got to change that dynamic. We've got to get more involved from that vantage point. We've got to get more people in the labor and the trades pool. Right. It's dying. I mean, at the end of the day, it's getting old, and so we're going to have to get more people in it. So I think this thing that Pastor Brian is talking about as relates to giving out scholarships to electricians and plumbers and such. I think that's a great idea.
Well, let me share this with you. I went over to Atlanta in the West End. I had a friend over there that the basis of our community is the black church. That's where we got the best organization. I don't know about current leadership in all of them, but over in Atlanta, I witnessed a pastor invite young people to come in, and they would take houses that were dilapidated in the community, and they say, okay, all the brothers and sisters are going to get together, and we're going to rebuild a particular house or rehab a house, and the people that are going to occupy that house, we're going to do it and basically give you that house as long as you maintain it and your husband and wife. I went to some pastors here. It was a group of pastors, about 64 pastors.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them that I had an idea that if I'm lucky enough to become mayor, that there's a program that we can put in place to train people out of the church from a number of positions. Not just community gardening, which I'm very familiar with and have done it, that tradition in my family, 77 years, but to show them how we can use the church, the nonprofit, and set up and establish, find out what assets we have within the church.
Mm-hmm.
Use that to start rebuilding the communities, one community at a time. It makes no sense for us to sit around and watch others come into our community and just buy up everything and rebuild it.
Sure.
We can do it. We have to take away from the culture of standing around, drinking lean, smoking weed, and doing nothing and getting no skills. And the women have got to get away from boy husbands, son husbands. I think that's the term they use. We can do it, Jared. And we also have to have ministers in the pulpit that care, not Satan in the pulpit. I'm talking about ministers that are willing to look at how we can transform our communities. Wylam, Inslee are excellent places to do that. 5 Points West.
This is a night you don't want to miss. Saturday, September 20th, live at the Tuxedo Ballroom, presented by the Black Contractors Association of Alabama. It's We Are One, a tribute to Frankie Beverly, the young vocals in the movement, featuring Jubu Smith and DJ Chocolate. Come dressed in all white and toast to Black excellence. From 7 to 11, good food, drinks, and unforgettable energy. We Are One, a tribute to Frankie Beverly. Get your tickets now at Black Contractors Association, incac.org, or Eventbrite.
I would have to agree. It sounds like Pastor Bryant is talking about using his leverage.
Mm-hmm.
I think our leaders, particularly to those in the pastors of the churches,
mm-hmm.
they've got to use their leverage mm-hmm. to help develop our culture and our community, and it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
If in fact, people are deliberate about it,
exactly,
and people believe that, I guess there's a problem. Right now, we seem to be walking away from development,
mm-hmm.
Not really respecting it,
mm-hmm.
And it's kind of unfortunate, but it's I guess that's just the reality that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've answered what we've done wrong, or what we're getting wrong. I'll say what we're getting wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What are we getting right? Are there any bright spots in this whole thing we call the city of Birmingham? Are there any bright spots?
Yeah, you and I. Yeah, you and I. We're a beacon of light in the wilderness, and we've got young people that are doing some great things. But they still need direction in terms of wisdom
mm-hmm.
and understanding how the enemy comes. Here's where we are as a people. Okay, we're at the 1 yard line, and the ball is in the opponent's hand, and we haven't arrived at the ballpark yet. That's where we are right now. We've gone back that far. But we are getting some people educated in academic ways, but again, they've gotten away from those trades. The women of old stood by their men. There were many women that were very well educated. They could go through doors that a lot of people couldn't go through.
So the social climate, or
Mm-hmm.
it was nothing to have an electrician be married to a doctor
a lawyer, right? I mean, it's beginning to come back. I met a brother over at UAB
mm-hmm.
recently. His wife's a doctor.
So you didn't come in the world as a activist,
That's
and
right.
in this case, not as a politician.
That's right.
what shaped or changed your perspective to say, okay, this is what I want to do? What was that?
The defining moments in my life, as a young man, I was stopped 22 times by police officers, most of it in Birmingham. And it was, some of it was traumatic. One of them I took to court, lost his job. But had I been a kid from a poor environment, that was uneducated, that didn't know how to deal with the system, I might have been dead or in prison. Look what happened to the young man in Homewood. I looked at the community that I grew up in and the community right down the street, where kids don't have the role models or the opportunities. And there's nothing wrong with our people except exposure. And that's what you're talking about here. When we're talking about introducing them to something beyond rapping, running a football, running a basketball, hitting a tennis ball. There were people in my community that became multi-millionaires just simply serving the community. Multi-millionaires.
Meaning they had businesses in the community.
Yeah, I told you about James Payne's, Sugar Hill Sundries, 16th Street, I'm sorry, the 16th Street Chevron, 4th Avenue Shell, the Shell on Arkadelphia. That's the heaviest traveled road in Alabama. And he owned those filling stations. He had Sugar Hill Sundries. B. Frank Davis had a filling station downtown on 4th Avenue. The Bailey brothers were building houses all over the place.
So
for a black man to build a church like Tabernacle, a Thorogood, or that 3-story house that's next to my house, brick house, 3 stories, brick. I mean, think about that. A black man back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And today, other than a few people that I know of, that live in my community. You got a few doctors that moved back in, but I don't know any black contractors that. Well, maybe one on Center Street, but he is not a major contractor. He works for Regina, and so we lack all these things in our community. They've moved out, and that's what we lose because we don't have that power base in the community anymore, and we've got to get back to that. We've got to get our young people to understand that we can do it. We come from a great people that built great civilizations, Jared. All we got to do is learn that. And we got to have a master teacher like Booker T. Washington lifting the veil of ignorance to show that we can do it.
So Kamal, we've got 9 individuals running to be the mayor of the city of Birmingham. Everybody, I'm assuming in that group, believes that they can lead this city forward.
Right.
They can do a better job than the current person that's in the spot. That's great. Everybody has their own perspective. I've heard a number of issues, but I like to hone in a little bit on the issue, or the issues, if you would, so that we as a community understand the way you see the situation that you're about to get involved in. The journey that we're going to embark on with you or whoever the person is that's in that seat.
Right.
What we want to know right now is how you view this situation with the city of Birmingham. Does it need saving? Is it evolving? Or is it declining? That's what we need to know.
Right.
We need to know your context as to, how do you see this whole thing?
Right. We absolutely have to save the city. We have evolution downtown and south side, and it's declining further and very fast in other areas of the city. I see trash being picked up on the south side of downtown. Overall, we got bad roads all over the city. There are new processes by which that can come into the 21st century, I'll just say. It's a polybond. It's called a polybond type process. I won't give the details as to how it works, but it makes the roads quieter, and it's less wear and tear on the tires. In terms of, I said, we need saving, and what is missing.
I mean, what's wrong? I mean, when you say we need saving, what's wrong?
We don't have any respect and dignity anymore for our communities. Self-respect, community pride is gone. Not from everybody, but too many. I see people just, how can you have respect when you going down the street throwing trash and bottles and full box of chicken bones out the window, not caring about your community where you live? A lack of pride, self-respect, and dignity. You're sitting in a park somewhere and somebody's blasting music 5 blocks away so loud. And the music that's coming out of that box, man, is dehumanizing. It's degrading women. It's degrading your own manhood. You don't care about the peace and solitude of the people in that community. That's got to stop, man.
I agree.
And so we got to change the entire culture of this city. And that comes from experience. And I know and feel that I have experience, not only just being an elder, but I've seen so much.
So let me be clear, based on what you're saying right there. Are you saying that the leader or the mayor in City Hall, he sets the tone for how the city moves and how they feel about themselves? Is that what you're saying? Because I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you a question. Does the mayor set the tone as to how the community sees itself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I think it was a good thing to forgive people for marijuana convictions, but at some point there has to be a balance in that, are you condoning it because you made it to where it's just basically a signature you can go because if it's 2 ounces or under, we're not going to enforce the law? Are you condoning the behavior of staying high all the time and being slowful, not getting anything done? And you know, it's a difficult thing because in California and Colorado, they're making millions and billions of dollars and they're putting it back into the infrastructure. Of course, we live in a red state, a very mentally ill state. But yeah, the mayor has to set the tone and be held accountable for everything. He can't stop people from killing one another. However, there are things that he can do. If you're, Jared, if you're a parent and you're sitting watching your Venus and Serena, well, your children evolve into a Venus and Serena, or a Kobe, or Michael Jordan, or Babe Ruth.
I thought you said we needed more tradesmen in our community.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
But that's where our focus is right now. But as a part of my platform, of course, I want to focus on building intellect. Look at Birmingham Southern. Can I go there yet? Birmingham Southern, nobody opened their mouth but me. In fact, you were there because we called a meeting and said, well, I want to take it to the next level. Since we have people so evil that they did not want to see a black intellectual class here, it was also dealing with trades. We're talking about STEM being set up at Birmingham Southern. Had A&M gotten to school, and I don't think Miles had the financial capacity, maybe not. But you got people that did not want to see anything west of 65 evolve, okay, and develop. So the mayor didn't speak up. He didn't open, he was quiet as a mouse. I didn't hear the county commissioner speak up. Any of these other people that are running, speak up. Do you know what the development and the purchase of that school by A&M, I was the only one that led that charge. Do you know what it would have meant for the entire west side of town? And we're talking about 4,000 students plus A&M could have put on that. That doesn't count the administration nor the staff, just 4,000 students. You're talking about beauty salons, barbershops, stores.
Eateries.
Right. You got, I think what, we got 3 or 4 black-owned restaurants. But everybody would have benefited from that corridor.
I would think you would have more development.
And well, that's my point. Far more development. Rental properties being rented out. The property values staying stabilized. I was the only one that took on that challenge. I put signs all up and down Arkadelphia Road. We had press conference. Did you know we had a picket over there last week? And there were more white people that showed up than black. So I'm just going to tell you what I do. When I go in, I'm going to have the law department to demand first to get our $5 million back from the board at Birmingham Southern, or we're going to start foreclosure proceedings for the $5 million. Either they're going to sell it or give us our $5 million back. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
That's leadership.
I mean, at the end of the day, we do carry a bunch of the tax burden as a community. And I don't think we really see much investment or return on investment for what we put in.
Everybody's feeding off of Birmingham. Think about this. You don't even have a rec center. All the high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity in this city. And I'm a victim. I had to drive to Bessemer's athletic complex on 150. That's 16 miles away. Or to go to Lakeshore, which is in Homewood. Now, we got a nice new gym in Fountain Heights. They don't have any athletic equipment in there. The track is too small. The swimming pool is on the outside. So when you get inclement weather, extreme cold, extreme heat, it's not even practical to try to, you going to swim in the pool outdoors? No. So the person that put that together wasted taxpayers' dollars. You got all that Martin Park could have been developed. They built the the Oxmoor Valley, that area, that new community center didn't have a pool, didn't have a track. Ensley's been there forever. Memorial Park's been there forever. Do you know only 3 pools were open in this city this summer? Only 3. And the issue is we don't have lifeguards that look like you and I, anybody else that wants to come from other communities to be lifeguards to save our children if they perhaps got in trouble. That's a pattern and it's a problem. And that's what I'm talking about. Everybody sits, you got too many young people standing around. As I was campaigning in Titusville the other day, I saw 14 young men. During the middle of the day, they should have been on a job somewhere. They on the porch smoking weed and drinking lean. You know what lean is, right, Jared?
I do.
Yeah, it comes out of Houston, Texas. That's what they were doing. Why weren't they somewhere getting some skilled trades at the industrial center or with you or with another contractor? Why? Because that's not the culture that has been promoted in this city. And that is why we got so much poverty, let alone also as a result of discrimination and redlining that came straight out of City Hall, that was allowed by City Hall, and that's been going on forever since the days of David Van and before. We're going to talk about that.
So you win.
Mm-hmm.
4 years later.
Oh, okay.
What are we saying about Kamal?
He was Larry Langford 2.0. He got something done. He built an exhibition driving track that young men, instead of having their cars towed and getting felonies and blocking off the expressway, which is a violation of the interstate commerce, he built an exhibition driving track so that they could go and give folks a safe venue to be entertained, to watch the best exhibition drivers. He built athletic facilities in the southwest of town, in the west of town that were comparable to Hoover and Bessemer. Do you know even Alabaster, with only 33,000 residents, is building an athletic complex bigger than Hoover's? And if you haven't been inside Hoover's athletic complex, Jared, the track alone looks like it's 3 blocks long. 3 blocks. The basketball course is about 25 or 30 of them down there. They're preparing for the future generations. And all our people need in this city is access to decent facilities where we can reduce high blood pressure, reduce obesity. And again, I was a victim, okay, because I had hypertension, high blood pressure. I couldn't see my feet. My stomach was so big. I know I look like a picture of health now, but I worked at it hard. Look at the athletic complexes in Birmingham compared to Hoover, Alabaster. Alabaster has a 33,000 population, and they're building a complex bigger than Hoover's. Hoover's track, by the way, in basketball arena, it looks like it's about 3 city blocks long. What I want to have when we build complexes here for growth and development and entertainment, because we can do all of it in one area of different parts of the city, of course, because I'm looking at building 3 of them. What I want to see in building these entertainment and athletic complexes is Black construction professionals in the commercial industry. We can do it. It's been done in other cities. I said we had a history of thousands of years of doing this type thing, and we must do it. And we should be leaders in this in the city where civil rights fought for us to have this opportunity. It doesn't make any sense for us not to. I want to do here what Maynard Jackson did in Atlanta. And if I'm given the opportunity to do it, make no mistake about it, I will do it.
So, how is it that these other people aren't getting this done? I mean, surely they don't think that everything is right or good.
Again, they didn't grow up like I did and see these people in their communities like I did. There was only probably...
So you're saying that they don't have an appreciation for true development?
Well, they didn't see it. People, what did I say? They emulate what they see.
Okay.
I grew up in a community of people like that. The lawyers, the doctors, the Black professional architects, engineers,
contractors,
all of them, business owners. You name every facet. We had it in Smithfield. We had it in Smithfield. Do you know that we were socially engineered out of many professions over the last 50 to 60 years? We had brick masonry, carpentry, electrical work, auto mechanics. They were in all of our schools, and it was taken out. See, it's like you said, it seems like they made it a shame. But we had that. But you can go to some surrounding cities and they still have it. I mean, what our young people have to understand is that you can become a millionaire being a mechanic. You can have an HVAC company. Look at what was the company that started in Homewood and now they're a big company? They started in a garage in Homewood. Which construction company?
I think you're talking about Stone.
Stone, right. Started in Homewood in a garage. And they got big contracts now. Of course, they had an advantage. You know, they were white. Whereas we didn't ever get any type of benefit. And so we just need the opportunity. That's bottom line. So we got a lot of people that are running. They didn't grow up in a community where they could see that. So we talking about from generational decline. That's what I see. They hadn't seen people that signed in front of a check like I have. James Payne, Leroy Gaylord, B. Frank Davis. I go on Belly Brothers.
What keeps you up at night? I mean, really. I mean, what are you constantly thinking about that
So
you know is an issue, and that if you just had the chance, you could, you'd change it. What is that one thing that keeps you up?
I don't want to take my last breath and my children and grandchildren are standing over me praying like I did my mother and father when they took their last breath. They asked to not die in a nursing home, and I gave them their wish. I took care of them as best as I could. I want my children and grandchildren to be able to say that this was a vehicle that was used for the benefit of family, my community, my people, and the city, to benefit everybody. And I did it well. I used this vehicle to bring about a utopia in the best way that I could for the benefit of every citizen in this city. I want my children and grandchildren to be able to say, I fought. I didn't sit on the sidelines and watch things happen. As they say, there are people that watch things happen, people that make things happen, and people that say, what happened? I want to make things happen, and I will. And I want this vessel to be used. And so I look at and I think about my children and grandchildren, and I said, I can't leave this world.
So Kamal, how do you want to be remembered? I mean, what do you want your children to say? What do you want the citizens of Birmingham to say about you when, you're no longer here?
Job well done. Langford 2.0 without the Rolex watches and the fancy coats. He did a very good job. He took us into the 21st century.
We're already in the 21st century.
Deep and no, the city's not in the 21st century. No, we're not. We're in that era, but we are behind. We're behind.
So we got some good stuff right there. You've told me that the morale is low with respects to city workers.
Right.
You're saying that they are considering leaving. Some are leaving.
Right.
What do you do to change that dynamic? I mean, what do you do to ensure that you get the best out of those individuals that help to keep our streets and our community clean? What do you do to them? I mean, what do you do for them?
They work hard, Jared, and they want to feel respected, just like citizens want to be respected when they go before the city council and the mayor. They want to be heard and listened to. And so we've got to build the morale, and I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. They work hard, but some of the conditions are very inclement, like extreme heat. We're in climate change. And so I thought about changing the hours to reasonable hours when they can work it. Some will be in the wee hours of the morning, but it's better than working in 100. This week it's going to be 101 to 111, all the way from Sunday all the way to Friday.
Now, there are cities where
they work at night.
Yeah,
well, we're going to change that. And not only that, I'm going to show them our appreciation by letting them be off on Fridays, the first Friday and the third Friday of every month, first and the third of every month. In other words, there'll be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 truly full weekends, okay? So they can spend some money in this city, hopefully. I'm going to build a police force, a patrol force. I want 800 officers. Why? Because in our business districts that we're going to create, not only downtown, Lakeview, and the South Side have true entertainment and business districts. We need one entertainment. Inslee should be a Black Wall Street, period. 5 Points West should be a Black Wall Street. Downtown Wylam by the library, you got about 4 or 5 blocks there. It could be a Wall Street, potentially. Pratt, low business district, could be a Wall Street. And Woodlawn is coming up. Woodlawn is coming up.
So am I to understand that you would go in the smaller communities and make business hubs in those communities?
Those are going to be.
They haven't been.
Those are going to be focus points for my administration because people live there too. And we want to bring people back into the communities. And you can do that only if it's safe. You got to clean it up. And
you got to have viable businesses too.
Right. You got to break. Well, they buy goods and services. They shop instead of having to drive all the way to Adamsville to Walmart. They can buy it right there. Mm-hmm. So we got to promote small businesses. They did it in Woodlawn, did they not?
Yeah.
Woodlawn, they did it. Why can't we do that in the little business district of Wylam? Why can't we do more in Smithfield? Smithfield has been promised Smithfield housing development, hadn't been done. It took 4 years to start the Fun Center out in 5 Points West. Why can't we have skyscrapers in 5 Points West, Jared? Can we not do it? Can we dream that big? I can. Did Larry dream big when he built the complex, a sportsplex? Do you know that there are only 10 sportsplex in the world and we got one? And it's fully functional. Why can't we dream like that? I'm going to do it. We're going to get a police force of 800 patrol officers. They're going to be on foot, horseback, and of course car patrol in all the business districts, the financial districts. We're going to do it. We're going to make the city safe. Safety is number one. What happened in 5 Points South? Those 17 people that were shot by that savage, and I call him what he was. You probably don't like that word, but that's what he was. He killed 22 people totally. But that wouldn't have happened on my watch. You know why? Because the police presence would have always been in the entertainment districts and the financial districts, always. And we're going to develop that in Wylam. Ensley's going to be a Black Wall Street, 5 Points West. Pratt, the little business district. Smithfield, we're going to develop that more. We're going to get it moving quick, fast, and in a hurry when I get there. And we're going to have what I said, that we're going to bring the police officers back in the city. We're going to let them take their cars home. Because I think that presence in the community makes a big difference.
Wait a minute.
So how do you attract them? You bring them in by giving them now I've got people to say they make enough right now in salary, but you also have to create incentives also. That means that per, let's say, drug bust or arrest of a seriously dangerous felon, $2,000 bonus or something like that. And it worked. But if you don't have incentives, people are going to just do a regular job.
I agree.
But if you got a patrol force, we're talking about foot, horseback, car patrol in business and retail areas, when you got a presence, you're less likely to have crime, and especially a violent crime like that. Now, you do have crazy people. You know, we live in that era right now. America is one of the most violent places on the planet.
Kamal, you hadn't really talked about economics, though.
In our communities, we need Black-owned businesses because we got predominantly Black areas. I mean, this city, let's just be serious. This city is distinctly segregated. And you have areas of class and areas not of class. We have more working class people in this city that would like to locate where you got sustainable housing. So that's development for people like you, even though that's small stuff, you know what? Because what I'm thinking is massive, like those entertainment complexes. I'm talking about massive, really massive. You've been down to Bessemer and seen that sports complex, right? Yeah. But in that, we're talking about entertainment such as theatrics. Do you know we can't even go to a theatrical place that's owned by a Black person in this city right now, Jared? We don't have an amphitheater anywhere in our communities. You got Avondale Amphitheater. Of course, you got the one up there, the high-tech one in Norwood. But tell me where there's one in Winona, where there's one in Ansley, 5 Points West. I mean, is there any entertainment in 5 Points West other than for sports entertainment? No, it's not. You don't have a decent grocery store there. Well, maybe I shouldn't use that word decent. I mean a high-end grocery store. The most densely populated area of the city, you don't have a Publix or a Piggly Wiggly. Marino's is okay, but why not promote the brother that's out there in Fairfield, Carver Jones? Why can't he be out in Sun Valley? You got still basically a middle class community that doesn't have a grocery store. When my parents moved out there, they were a third black family. They had movie theaters, they had grocery stores, you understand? They moved to Trustful. And so a lot of folks rented their houses out. And then we went through that economic collapse where the people that were not on fixed mortgage rates, it went through the sky.
Tell me 3 people you'd want in the room with you to challenge your ideas. Are there people that you would want in the room with you?
When you say challenge my ideas,
Mm-hmm.
you mean what would be my way of governing?
Right.
Once I get there.
Right.
Some of the best minds, there's a guy that if I become mayor, should say when, because I absolutely expect to win because I've been working hard for that whole year. I would want, there's a guy, he's on the board of MIT, and he cleaned up New Orleans after Katrina. Now he's in San Francisco. His name is Bill Gilchrist. He used to be here years ago. Why? Because he would be absolutely a good friend of small business and the black community in terms of inclusion. You know, that's a so-called bad word in Alabama now, in some of these former Confederate states, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But Bill is very well connected. He's a very brilliant man. He speaks about 8 languages fluently and writes them. He not only finished MIT, but he finished Stanford in California. Very brilliant. I've been talking to him already. The other would be somebody on the legal level of a UW Clemens to make sure that those bold steps that I plan on making first week, that I'm within those parameters, because I'm gonna step right to the damn line. If not on it, I ain't gonna step across it, but I'm gonna definitely step on it. There are a number of women, you know, we got some very smart women out here, and I gotta have them in my corner 100%. So I'm not gonna exclude them. It's gonna probably be way more than what you said, top 3. But I'm just telling you about the temperament.
Any name?
Yeah. I thought about.
Or you could do somebody like somebody too.
Well, it'll be somebody like a Sherry Gardner or a Renee Kemp. Renee Kemp was in the top 5 at Syracuse. Very smart woman, very out of the box thinker. She did Africa Town down in Mobile. Sherry Gardner, highly respected, brilliant in financing and banking. She did that for years, top ranking.
Okay. Well, sounds like you'd have a.
I would like to have a top rank like my daughter, but the mayor, she loves the mayor. She's she's very loyal to him, and that's what she's gonna probably stay. But when I get there, I'm gonna have to relieve her of her duties, since she. She's respectful, just like the mayor has been. You know.
Again, I want to thank you for taking the time to come out and share your vision with the community.
Sure.
You've got work to do. That's what I tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tall order.
It is.
You know, people need to understand the importance
Right.
and the responsibility that goes with this.
Yes.
I think they need to respect the process and respect the effort that it really takes to do this. So, you know, again, I want to thank you for coming out, sharing your perspective, sharing your ideas, sharing your concerns.
Sure.
I think people now have a better understanding or view of who you are. You've given us some pretty insightful things tonight, some things that, quite frankly, were fresh in respects to ideas. And so, again, we want to thank you for coming out.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you and the Black Contractors. You all have been very supportive financially from the beginning back in August of 2024 when I started. I want to thank the Divine Nine, a number of lawyers that have been very supportive. And most of all, I want to thank citizens for getting involved. I want to thank Gen Z generation, some millennials, definitely seniors who I'm going to look out for. I've met many of them out on this trail these 11 months that I've been campaigning. Again, I was the first one to come out campaigning after I realized you and I were together. We realized the person we wanted to support was ill. I will not let you down. I will not embarrass you. I'm not perfect. You all know that. You can Google my name and read the good and the bad, mostly good, but when you go to africaformayor.com, that's AFRIKAFOR, mayor.com, I want you to do this. You put all of the other 8 candidates combined, none of them collectively have the 40-year community service record as I do. So when you go on my website, go up to the menu, that's the 3 little lines to the right. Click on that, and to the left, a screen will drop down saying Contact, Info, About. Click About, and scroll down past me and Dr. Gina Page, who is over African Ancestry when I did my Ancestry DNA. Past those pretty pictures of showing my lifestyle in the garden and in the gym, and go down to that 16-point community service record. It is profound because that's 40 years of community service, 8,000 to the Boys Club, 7,400 to Wilkerson Elementary for the band uniforms and mascot. Bobby Frank Cherry, the main thing. Bobby Frank Cherry, that was the last man that was suspected of killing the girls at the 16th Street Baptist Church. Why didn't the lawyers in this city, any lawyer could have done what Ronald Jackson and I did, Jared? That was researched upon the request of Dr. Richard Arrington, researched and found a case in the Midwest that dealt with faking. And as a consequence of that, we wrote that amicus brief, and I went and filed it in federal court that forced Doug Jones, who was the DA at the time, and Judge Garrett, who had said that Cherry's lawyer said he was too sick to stand trial. You know, you can't try a crazy person. And so we said send him to Bryce so he can be evaluated psychologically to see if he was fit to stand trial. And they wouldn't do anything. So when I filed that amicus brief in the federal court, I didn't call for a press conference. I just did what was appropriate because I said I was motivated in that my sister would have been the 5th little girl had we not changed from Baptist to Lutheran. She would have been in the 16th Street Baptist Church with Cynthia Wesley. That was one of the 4 little girls that got killed. That was her best friend that came through my yard. And so I was motivated. But look at all those 16 things that I did. That is major. I did that as a volunteer, not getting a check from the county or a check from the state as being a representative or, no. I went on a job. When you're on your job, you're getting paid to do a job, and you can brag about what you've gotten done. But to do it out of the love of your community and your city and your people, that's what I did for 40 years, and I got a record. Outstanding Community Service Award from the NAACP, Outstanding Community Service Award from Richard Arrington and the full council, 25 years, Birmingham Post-Herald.
Okay.
So I ask for your prayers and support. Hosea 4:6 says, for my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. I just gave you some knowledge on what I'll do. And so seek the truth and it'll set you free. The truth is on my website, 16 points of major community service work for 40 years. Nobody else has that kind of record, and you can put them all together. So I'm asking for your support. You can contribute there, or you can get in touch with me. I need funding. I'm going up against corporate money that controls City Hall. I'm going in that day one. We're going to end that. We have to have a balance. There's no balance. You take care of corporate and you take care of community. Right now, everything's going downtown and south side for corporate. Thank you. God bless you.
So again, we want to thank Kamal for coming out tonight and sharing with us his vision and his outlook as to the city of Birmingham. We really appreciate him taking the time to share with us this evening. We're looking forward to speaking with all the other candidates and hearing what they have in mind as to how they would lead the city forward. We appreciate you for tuning in, for supporting us. So again, my name is Jared Sims. I'm with the BCNP Black Contractor News Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the Black Contractors News Podcast, presented by the Black Contractors Association, Alabama Chapter. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest videos. See you next time.
This is a night you don't want to miss. Saturday, September 20th, live at the Tuxedo Ballroom, presented by the Black Contractors Association of Alabama. It's We Are One, a tribute to Frankie Beverly with young vocals in the movement, featuring Jubu Smith and DJ Chocolate. Come dressed in all white and toast to Black excellence. From 7 to 11, good food, drinks, and unforgettable energy. We Are One, a tribute to Frankie Beverly. Get your tickets now at Black Contractors Association, IncAC.org or Eventbrite.